In this video, we're going to be taking a look at the use of strong introductions and descriptive language in a procedural text. Now, the first thing you'll need to do is open up your Practice Companion books at page 36, and I want you to take a look at the model. Now, it is important to refer back to Lesson 1 when we talked about the characteristics of a good procedural text. I do want you to look that up in your notes, and it is important to know that we're also going to be talking about the importance of word choice in today's video. Now remember, a good procedural text explains how to do or make something, may include a list of materials that are needed to make something, has numbered steps that tell what to do, describes one part of the process in each step. It may include a drawing or even a diagram, and also has steps that are ordered so they follow the exact sequence needed to do or make something. So these are very good characteristics of a procedural text that we talked about in the first lesson. Now, what I want you to do is take a look at the writing model on page 36, and I want you to reread the introduction and how to make a frontier toy. And that's going to really help guide us as we're taking a look at a strong introduction. Okay, is what we're going to be focusing on throughout this video. Now, first of all, I want you to think about what the purpose statement is. It is important, though, it is important to know that the purpose of a procedural text should be included and stated in that first paragraph, and you'll want to do that in your first paragraph as well. So we can read that first paragraph, and you can see the purpose statement. I want you to underline that where it says, here are the steps for making a sock puppet. Now, also in an introduction, you should also provide a context or background information in order to grab the reader's attention. So we can see on page 36 it says children on the western frontier played a simple with toys that they often made themselves. So that's given a little bit of background, some context. Okay, they were most excited by toys that moved. Okay, so it will take a little bit of research if you're not quite sure on some of the background with your procedure. Okay, and then it goes right into, here are some steps for making a sock puppet. For example, if I'm thinking about writing about how to make a quilt, which I honestly have no idea to do, but let's just say, for example, that's my topic, I may want to put in my text to show modern people how to make a pioneer-style quilt. So I'll begin by making some type of historical connection clear. For example, pioneer women needed to know how to make quilts to keep their families warm. You can learn this survival craft too. Just follow these easy steps. Something as simple as that in order to introduce my procedural text. Now, it is important to know that from the chart that we just went over at the beginning of the video, as far as good characteristics of a procedural text, okay, that each numbered paragraph or sentence in the body of a procedural text should describe one step in detail. Okay, so you need to have that, and I would say about 2 to 3 sentences to explain each step in really good detail. Okay, so it is important to use descriptive language with clear and accurate instructions. Okay, so it is important to be the absolute master and all-knowing person about your topic, because you need to be able to tell people how to do it. Now, I have talked about this before. It is very important to speak to your audience as if they have never done this procedure before, even if it may be very, very simple. It is important to simplify it for your audience as if they have never completed it before. I would say just about everybody's procedural text, you will need your first step to include materials that you'll need to complete the steps. Okay, for example, if I'm making a quilt, I would say my first step, to make this quilt, you'll need 16 pieces of fabric cut into 12-inch squares, a quilting needle, black thread, and a piece of white fabric as big as all the squares put together. You can see that I have exact numbers. I have exact measurements as far as how things need to be cut. I'm very, very specific on my first step. So as you come to class today, what you're going to be doing is beginning drafting the introduction paragraph for your essay. It is very important to remember the purpose statement, also the background information. Once you finish the introduction, you're going to be drafting the numbered steps, and it is very, very important to remember that about 2 to 3 sentences per step, and also include detailed descriptions for each instruction. So this concludes the video on writing an introduction and also using descriptive language in a procedural text. If you have any questions about this concept, please come and see me.